Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to the fourth episode of Broad Shoulders and Cheese Curds. I'm Ben Pokorny, and that man through the computer screen today.
Rather Trapp. How are we doing, folks? It's a great Christmas Eve tonight, Ben. How was your Christmas Eve dinner?
You know, it was good. Had some great pot roast and a very filling meal. And I'm full of excitement for this next episode. We weren't able to do one last week due to some issues with our YouTube, trying to figure some things out. But we're back for episode 4, and we're ready to roll.
So, folks, we're going to start with the fastest 2 minutes. Ben, why don't you start us off?
Up in God Bless the USA Bank Stadium, Maserati Mitch Trubisky pulled up in his 90s Buick but played like a Tesla as he, Darnell Fly Me to the Mooney, and Alan Dear Mrs. Robinson were throwing the ball like a backyard football game with David Montgomery, Alabama, putting up a Minneapolis miracle, running for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Bears offense scored on every possession, with Cairo Santos Claus knocking in kicks left and right. On defense, the Bears without Khalil returned to the MAC. Get him what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to stop Kirk Cousins and Dalvin from cooking up a win in Minneapolis. In the end, Matt Black, Nagy, and Bill Major Laser coached the gem, and the Bears kept their playoff hopes alive. The playoff-bound Chicago Bears, 33. The Minnesota Football Vikings, 27.
Whoop! Whoop! In the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where in the first half the Packers were not following Matt's rules, as it was just another day in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, and the MVP was eating those big Bob Funyuns to give the Pack the lead. Later in the game, Mr. Rogers asked the Panthers D, "Why won't you beat my neighbor?" as he walked in the end zone and whipped out the belt to discipline the Panthers. Later in the game, Chris didn't allow any Panthers into his barns and denied TB of a TD, and His Majesty Kevin the King recovered the ball, and the Packers took a commanding lead. In the second half, the Packers must have been blasting Goody because they were just somebody that we used to know as they disappeared in the second half. But because of money order Mason and Crosby, the Packers can take that W straight to the bank. Packers 24, Panthers 16.
And there we go. That is the first edition that we're trying to do a little fastest 2 minutes here on Broad Shoulders and Cheese Curds. Yeah, good week for both teams. I think it was a great week for the Packers. You got to be happy. So we'll start reviewing last week with you, Trapp. What you got for us about the Packers? Somewhat too close of a win up in Lambeau.
Well, let me tell you something. I mean, if we play like we do in the first half, I was watching the game with a friend of the show, Mr. Ruthio, good family friend of ours, and he was saying in the first half, man, we're Super Bowl bound if we could play like this. And, I had to remind him, there's a whole nother 30 minutes of football left, and clearly that really affected the game.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it reminded me a lot of last year's team where we just looked great in the first half, just looked outstanding. We're like, wow, no one can beat us. And then you're like, oh, wow. I was like, damn, we're not good. Maybe we're not good. Maybe we're not good.
Well, I think saying like, if we play like this the whole game, if we do this the whole game, that's like saying if the Cleveland Indians score 2 more runs, they win the World Series. That's all, hypothetical. So you gotta, like you were saying, you gotta play that way the whole game because a better team than the Panthers, especially with healthy players like the Panthers did not have CMC, obviously, and this is what they were able to do and come back against the Packers. Not even come back, play this type of game against the Packers. A better team, I don't know if you agree, would have punished the Packers, and the Packers would have lost that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the Panthers coming into this game had, I think it was 6 or 7 losses by 7 points or less. So they're I would say they're a better team than their record shows, but that doesn't excuse how the Packers literally let them come right back into this game. I mean, they were up 21-3 at half. I mean, I'm looking at this game like, wow, like if we play to our, we're so much better. This is going to sound really ridiculous coming out of my mouth. We're so much better than we actually are. Like, if we play to like how we can play, which I know is a big ask because that's like saying
If you play to your potential.
yeah, but like, and our potential is we can score a touchdown on any drive, which it sounds ridiculous, but like I'm looking and we have the potential to. It's just that once they like mess up a drive or two, like 2 drives. Like they lose all the momentum is huge for the Packers because they're a bipolar team. It's just up and down, up and down, up and down. They got to get more even. Like I'm okay with scoring 30 points and like 15 points a half, and not scoring 21 in the first and 3 in the second. You know what I mean? Like if we can just
keep the pressure up.
Yeah, if we can just get a nice normal game where I don't have to go through the dramatic highs and lows as a football fan does, then I think we're gonna be good. This game proved to me that any team in the NFC can lose to the Packers, and any team in the NFC can beat the Packers, and I firmly believe that.
Well, it's good to hear, considering we have a Week 17 matchup coming up for the Bears.
Real quick before we do that, if the Packers, we got the Titans. Oh, and Tractor Cito, Derrick Henry. If we beat the Titans, and this is good for you, we beat the Titans and
You're
the
in.
Seahawks.
1 seed.
No, it's if we beat the Titans and the Rams beat the Seahawks, we've already clinched, and we don't have to play any of our starters Week 17.
I didn't know the Seahawks were still in the hunt.
Yeah, because
that kind of came out of nowhere on us.
I know that they are. I think they're 10-4 right now, so they would need to win out. And the Packers, if they lose out, then the Seahawks would get it. I think. I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I just looked on ESPN, and if the Packers win, and the Seahawks lose, 1 seed wrapped up. Or, I mean, the Packers, all they have to do is win 1 out of their 2 remaining games, and they have the 1 seed.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Oh yeah. Sounds easy.
Yeah, we'll see. So, Week 15 for the Bears. Should we move on to that?
Yeah.
I'll give
Take
my
it away,
review.
my friend.
We're back. We are so back,
Oh, no.
dude. Mitch Trubisky. It's like a phoenix from the ashes. It's a Mitch from the mud is what I'm going to call it, instead of a phoenix from the ashes. Mitch grinded out a victory. He looked fantastic. 15 for 21, 202, 9 yards average per passing attempt, 1 touchdown only, but that's because they punched it in a bunch on the goal line. Ended up with a lot of field goals too. 1 pick, and it was a bad pick. Threw it up in the end zone. It was a chance to get a field goal that would have put the game out of reach for the Vikings in terms of what the final score ended up as, a 6-point win for the Bears. But we'll take it. I mean, he had a 97 quarterback rating, which isn't great. Kirk Cousins did outperform him in that regard. But one thing I got to point out, the offensive line, for possibly the first time this season, did a fantastic job. Gave up 1 sack, and it was a 4-yard sack that Mitch was rolling out on. So I'll take that from the O-line, and I'll take that performance from Mitch. But the big surprise was David Montgomery, who I have laid into on this podcast,
yes.
And I'll give him some credit. He ran 32 carries, 146 yards, and he ran for more yards than he did in 5 separate weeks combined this season in 1 game last Sunday. So good for him. 19 yards was his long, and like I said, that was probably, there was a couple games where that was about his rushing total for the whole game. So we'll take it from Montgomery, and I'm all the way back.
You're ready to get hurt again, is what I'm hearing.
I'm ready to get hurt again. I am all the way back in. Those, like, the past 2 weeks were kind of like, like we talked about 3 weeks ago, you have to win these games for it to be a possibility. And looking at the Bears all season, you're like, no way the Bears win 4 games in a row. And the big one for me to kind of pull me back into it was this Vikings game because of the Texans and our next week, our opponent this Sunday, Jacksonville. It's kind of like the Vikings are that game that, they're another team in the hunt, went into the game with the same record as us, and it's kind of like we have to win. And this is a good team with a good running back, 2 possibly of the top 10, top 15 best receivers, Justin Jefferson and Thielen. Thielen, who had a bad game in terms of what he normally does, only got targeted 3 times. But yeah, I'm back. The Bears are back. Mitch is back. And we're finally not calling wide receiver screens on 3rd and 18. And it's a beautiful thing. And the best part, one thing I got to add, Cairo Santos is my Christmas present. I'm so used to, and even at the start of this year, so used to, even when the kicker goes out there, just being like, well, he might make it. Let's hope he does. On anything above 30 yards. Even inside 30 yards, the Bears were never safe before. But now it's so nice. I think Cairo Santos has made 25 consecutive field goal attempts. He was 4 for 4 on Sunday, long of 48, and hit all 3 of his extra points. And that was a dream a couple years ago. So
Yeah, I mean,
we'll take it.
Ben,
And we'll put it in the back pocket.
what if I told you that I'm here on something I've noticed myself being on a lot lately, ESPN Playoff Machine. What if I told you that not only the Bears could get into the playoffs, but they can still get the 6th seed?
Oh, man. Don't do that to me.
So what I'm looking at, what you're rooting for here is you are a big Lions fan. You don't.
I know the Niners. We need them to win against the Cardinals.
Yeah, but the Cardinals in Week 17 do have a tough matchup against the Rams.
My only worry is that the Rams have nothing to play for that week.
Yes, they actually do not. You are correct.
But I mean, the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, looked like shit.
Well, actually,
against the Eagles, they looked horrible against the Eagles.
In Week 17, if things go out like I am planning they are to go out, which is a fairly realistic. The only thing that's pretty not realistic is Detroit beating Tampa Bay, but
oh god,
yeah, that helps the Bears get the 6th seed. That's what I'm doing. So it all comes down to Week 17 in this fantasy land that I've made. So the Rams would have something to play for because if they lose and the Seahawks win, the Rams are no longer have a home field. They are no longer the 3 seed. They are the 6 seed. So they will absolutely.
Well, and after watching the Rams' last game against the Jets, that's very possible for them to lose to anybody from what I've seen.
So
because I watched that game. I had a big fantasy matchup. I'm in the finals. Thank you very much. But I was kind of flipping through watching every NFL game on Sunday, just being back home, not much to do. And I was watching the Rams game to see how Higbee was doing, and the Rams looked horrible. The Jets, it was I think it was 23-20 was the final of that game. But
I believe so.
The Jets were in the driver's seat. The Jets had a double-digit 2-touchdown lead at half, and they were on their stuff. So the Rams, yes, the Cardinals do have a tough game by record-wise against the Rams Week 17. But if the same Rams team comes out Week 17 that just played the Jets, I am very worried.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tale of two teams, really, because I'm not going to relate everything to the Packers, but it does remind me of the Packers because the Packers, I feel like, can beat any team they play, but they can also, they could go 16-0, but they can also go 0-16. They're such an up-and-down team, I feel like we could lose.
Yeah,
anyone.
at least with the Bears, I always know they're going to be just close enough. That's going to be within reach. And just something's going to happen to screw it up. If this season, us not making, let's say, the Cardinals just don't end up losing a game, which is very possible.
Very possible.
Unless Nick Mullins throws for 400 yards for the Niners coming up this weekend, but they will have Kittle back, which is big for San Fran. Mostert will be full health, so hopefully the Niners can get something cooking there. But it's if this season comes down to a blown game against the Detroit Lions, I'm done. I'm so done. If that blow up by our defense, and Mitch did turn the ball over late in the game within our own red zone, but if that's what the season comes down to, a loss to frickin' Detroit, it's gonna be an ugly scene.
Not happy
I'll tell you
days.
that much. No.
But
yeah, should we move on to our Week 16 preview? So
let's.
I'll let you start with the Packers since you got For probably the first time this year in a while, the Packers actually have a more important game than the Bears, or a tougher game than the Bears do. So
Yeah. Right now, I'm telling you something. Come Sunday, I'm going to be all the way in on the Packers. I just haven't quite warmed up to it. Right now, I'm kind of so-so because, I'm looking. I'm on ESPN pretty much all day today. I'm like, damn, like they could do it. They could do it. And could is a strong word. It gives a man hope. But it's just...
Hey, 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they said the Bears could make the playoffs, and look where we are now.
Yeah, how about that? But it's just Derrick Henry is just every week. I feel like I'll be scrolling through Instagram and I'll see another highlight of him just tossing someone like 6 yards, and I'm just like, oh God, we have to play him. And
well, thank God you have such a stout run defense.
Yes, but if the Packers, to get the 1 seed, needed to win out, I would have accepted defeat already. But the fact that we only need to win 1 of 2, like I'm all in, because I'm not trying to be an ass. But if the Packers lose, they're gonna go. If the Packers lose this week 17, they're gonna go all out on the Bears, and it's a prove it game. This week is a prove it game for them because they do not have a good. They don't have a good record against winning teams. I think they're 1-2. So. And they get criticized a lot for beating bad teams, but what do you want us to do? Lose to bad teams? Like, it's very frustrating because I'm looking at I looked at their schedule earlier. We played Jacksonville, who is not good in the slightest. Houston, very, very not good. Like they're a team like Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a brand new team with Hurts now, and I feel like the Packers should get credit for the creation of Jalen Hurts because. They took him out, or they took Wentz out, rather, during the game, the Packers-Eagles game, and put Hurts in, rather, and he threw, I think, a touchdown or 2. So, Philly, you're welcome. We'll take all the praise we can get. We created Jalen Hurts, is pretty much, all I have to say.
Yeah, okay.
So, you're welcome.
I'm sure they're thanking you right now.
They should be. Hey, they can still make the playoffs. All they have to do is win out.
Yeah, I was watching their game against Arizona, and I thought they had it.
You're one Dallas Goedert sidestep to the right away from being right back in the playoffs.
I know. We're already back, but
all the way back.
I do see your point. We're not all the way back. We're there. We're right. We are the boyfriend meeting the family for the first time, walking up to the door. All we need to do is knock, and we're in. So the Cardinals losing is that knock, and us taking that step through the door by beating our next 2 opponents, which go Packers, I guess. On Sunday.
Go Pack.
We're there. So
all the way. Yeah.
I'll let you keep going on the Pack though. Sorry.
Yeah, just relating to you this week, you're a big. You're a big Packers and Rams fan this week because if that happens...
And 49ers.
Yes. If that happens, then Packers, nothing to play for week 17. Rest A-Rod. Just listen to this potential starting lineup. You'll have Tim Boyle. You'll have probably Alan Lazard as wide receiver 1. You'll have, on defense, no Jair. You'll have no Zadarius. That's all I can say about the defense. Probably... I hope we won't be playing David Bakhtiari or Elton Jenkins. I hope we don't play any of our Pro Bowlers. Somehow we had 7 Pro Bowlers, which sounds ridiculous, but when you think about it, they should have 8 with Tanyan. But
oh come on!
Is he good?
No way.
Would he be good in any other system?
Yeah, but you have Darren Waller.
I know.
I guess he's AFC though.
Yeah,
so
the guy that made it
that
over
is a fair
from Evan
point.
Ingram has 40 more catches than him, only 10 more yards than him, 9 less touchdowns.
But Evan Ingram is the guy in New York.
Yeah, I feel like because I heard Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show saying a lot of guys make it just based off their name. And, Evan Ingram has been a solid tight end for a while. We had, I'm trying to think, we had Rodgers, we had Bakhtiari, we had Jenkins, we had Adams, we had, I think, Aaron Jones. Yeah, Aaron Jones made it. And then Jair and Zadarius. So, yeah, we had 7. In that Week 17, the only Pro Bowlers I could see playing would be Bakhtiari and Jenkins. I don't want them to play because they're too valuable. I hope we just rest all our Pro Bowlers. Khalil Mack can go eat up on, Billy Turner all he wants. He might have 12 sacks in that game. Yeah, let Khalil have.
Well, that's the thing, man. This last week against Minnesota, or even though I didn't touch on it that much, I'll just say something quick about it now, if that's okay.
I'll go for it.
This was the first game the Bears have had Mack back. He was kind of iffy and wasn't playing a whole lot in Houston against Houston. He played not full reps in this last game against the Vikings, but it's the first time we got to see him and Akeem Hicks back in the lineup in a couple of weeks. So that was just terrifying for Kirk Cousins to endure. I'm pretty sure he got sacked, I think it was 3 times. And the Robert Quinn actually really turned out for the first time all year and was like worth that deal we gave him this summer. So that's definitely something that the Bears have going forward. But I'll let you keep going. My bad.
Yeah, no, I feel like the Bears. I hate to say this, but in the playoffs, that's the team no one wants to play because they've had nothing to play for the longest time, and now they have something to play for, and now you're like,
you're given. It's given a hungry bear some food. You stick it in front of them. It's like, oh, it's time. They've been starved of something to play for so long, and if the Bears get there with these guys like Khalil Mack, like Robert Quinn, Akeem Hicks, Allen Robinson, who are, top players in their positions, you're looking at guys who've been, waiting for this opportunity, who should be playing on Super Bowl teams, who should be playing on playoff teams, because they're that caliber of player. So you'll have guys that are made to perform in that situation. So that's what I'm hoping for. And hopefully they're already treating these games like playoff games.
Yeah, I would assume they are. It's been, in the last, 10 years, they've had 3 playoff games, because I think they had a first-round bye in 2010, did they not?
We had two playoff games then.
Yeah, and then 1 in 2018,
so that would be 3.
Is 3.
Yes, that would be 3. Yeah.
So, and I don't know how many...
God.
Yeah, that's just not a lot of success.
You said it, and it didn't sound real, and then I had to think about it, and I'm like, yeah, that would be correct.
Yeah, I don't know how many new guys are on the Bears since 2018, so I know there's a lot of, winning experience.
Yeah. Our receiving core is a lot of the same. We still have, A-Rob and Miller. Mooney's a rookie. We have Kmet, a rookie. Jimmy Graham, a veteran at tight end who's played in big playoff games before, so I think that'll be a good help. Montgomery wasn't there in 2018, but everyone on that offensive line except for Fetty was on the 2018 team. And on defense, Jalen Johnson and Robert Quinn are the only new faces. So those are guys who have tasted victory with the Bears before and felt the defeat of the double doink.
What if I told you, and I hate to tell you this.
Oh, God.
But if you had to guess, since 1990, how many playoff wins do you think the Bears have?
2.
Only 2? Well, since 1990, my friend, you have had 5 playoff wins.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't feel like
Brian Anderson was the quarterback. And,
19.
Yeah, well, I had to think. So we had 2000, the Super Bowl season. That was 3. We beat the Seahawks and the Rams. We had 1 playoff win in 2010. So there's 3. 2004? Trying to think. I was too young back then, but yeah, my guess was 2 because I totally blanked on the Super Bowl season. You wouldn't even know that happened because it was such a fluke. So,
hold on, just 1 second. If you had to guess how many wins the Packers have had in the playoffs since 1990, how many would you guess?
27.
That's a little much, you know. It is 24. So you're off by. I mean, you just see the dramatic differences in these franchises. I won't scroll to the 80s because, good God, I mean, you
should. I think you should. I would like to talk about the 80s.
Well, I mean, I'm looking here. I'm looking up Pro Football Reference, and the last time when the Packers won Super Bowl II in 1967.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
I would just like to say the Chicago Bears won multiple world championships before the Super Bowl existed.
So did the Packers.
And it's ridiculous that those world championships are not counted as Super Bowl victories.
Well, yeah, because it was NFC versus NFC back then. The AFC wasn't involved. But I get what you're saying, you know.
World champions.
Yeah.
World champions. Doesn't matter. World champions. Just because a league didn't exist doesn't mean that they weren't the best team in what becomes the National Football League at the time.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers at Lambeau Field, every time they run out, the PA guys, and you're 19-time, or was it? I think, yeah, you're 19-time world champ. I think it's 19. Oh, I sound like such an unloyal fan. Hold on. I'm pretty sure it's 19. 13, sorry. Wow, overestimated a lot. The 13-time world champion Green Bay Packers, because they won all those world championships, quote unquote, back in the day. I think the Bears actually have the most world championships.
World championships.
So congratulations,
yes.
But the Packers have
Thank you.
the most championships overall. Because I think the Bears have I feel like they won 11 world championships. Then 1985 happened, the greatest fluke in NFL history.
Not at all. Are you kidding me? They had the best ball carrier in NFL history on that team.
Damn, didn't realize Emmitt Smith was on the Bears. So yeah, they had 12.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, we don't have enough time for this today, but we're gonna get to that next because you're making
Bears,
some bold claims.
If you look at it on paper, Bears 12 total championships, Packers 13 total championships, 2 even teams, I would say.
Okay, good save.
There you go.
Should we talk about the Bears' upcoming matchup this weekend?
Let's. I would love to.
So this game, Jaguars down in Jacksonville. You know, these last 2 games for the Bears, if everything kind of goes, you know, if the Packers win their game against the Titans, or even if the Vikings, by the grace of Zimmer, win that game down in New Orleans, the Packers are the 1 seed, right? They just need to win, or the Saints need to lose.
Right now, so if the Packers win a game, they are the 1 seed.
But what if the Saints lose to Minnesota?
Then I think the Seahawks... Here, I'll hop on NFL Playoff Machine.
Oh, then you got the 1 seed. No, I just did it. Yeah.
So, yeah, if the Saints lose to Minnesota, and for argument's sake, we'll take the Seahawks beating the Rams, and then make the Packers lose. The Packers...
Yeah.
So, the Packers pretty much just need to win 1 game, or they need...
Or the Saints lose.
Yeah.
Or the Saints lose and the Seahawks don't win out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they just need... simplest way to put it, got to win a game. That's all they need.
Got to win a game. Yeah. So let's say the Packers beat the Titans. You know, Packers will have the 1 seed. These next 2 games for the Bears, that will be against Week 17, will be against the Packers backups.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are probably worse than the Packers backups.
Mm-hmm.
These are just Bears games. These are Bears games to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville does not. I'll say this: the Packers backups scare me more than Jacksonville. Because of the fact that it's the Packers, and not because, you know, your team's amazing and your backups are spectacular, but because this is a game that will be known as like the backup game or something, you know, when we look back in history and say, oh, remember that one time the Packers had the 1 seed and they sat everybody and the Bears lost to them with a chance to go to the playoffs.
It's the Jordan Love game.
It would be the Jordan Love game. It would just be like 2017 when I saw Brett Hundley crawl onto the field and beat the Bears at Soldier. You know, it's one of those games. And it's a game that is just too these next two games, assuming like the Packers have the 1 seed and play the backups, these games are too easy for the Bears to win for it to happen. That's how I'll put it. These games are way too easy for the Bears to the point where I think they're going to lose. And it's like, well, here we go. What's going to happen this week? So I am sickened at the thought of playing the Packers backups. I'd rather play, maybe not, but I'd rather play, you know, Aaron Rodgers than the Packers backups, just because with Rodgers, you know what you're going to get, and you know that we're probably, you know, going to have to pull some crazy shit to win. But playing the Packers backups, you should be like, oh, win. Win.
Yeah.
And that's the game that just crushes you. But we still got Jacksonville Sunday. I'm excited. This is the first time I've been like, you know, the Texans game, I still had to kind of respect them because I got Deshaun and a lot of talent. But you look at Jacksonville and you're like, okay, win. Like, this is the first game in a long time this season that the Bears have played where I'm like, we're going to win.
Yeah, I mean,
like I've said the past few weeks, I'm like, this game's a win. We're going to win this game, and we're going to still be alive, which I believed. You know, I would, if I were a betting man, and I am, I would have bet on the Bears to win these past few games. But, you know, this game against Jacksonville is where, like, I don't even need to be worried.
yeah. I mean, I was looking.
And that's the ones that get you.
Yeah, I was looking at the lines earlier, and I saw this line, the Bears -9, and I'm like, oh my! I love that. Like that line. I mean, it looks too perfect. The Bears red hot. Jags, they want to lose because right now if they lose out, they get the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, that's another thing I hadn't thought about. Good job pointing that out.
So
because now with the Jets winning, it's a race of who can lose more games.
Yeah, it's because I don't see the Jags even wanting to be remotely competitive now. So I mean, Bears -9, that might be my you betcha, but I won't do.
Does Gardner Minshew though? Does he come out and play for his career?
I mean, if I'm the
because Sam Darnold knows he's cooked.
Oh yeah, he knows, and I honestly think that win against the Rams was just the middle finger to the organization. Just here you go, look.
I think that win was Adam Gase and the Jets organization saying we're going to win one game so that fans go into Christmas happy. And they don't want to burn down our offices because we just went 0-16.
Yeah, I mean,
because even in a tank, you can't go 0-16. Like you go 0-16 regardless of if you get, you know, the number 1 overall pick, the best player in a hypothetical situation in college football history. You know, you go 0-16, people would still be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot.
So you get one win, you get the fans off your back, and you continue the tank.
I think maybe it's just Jets fans and New York sports fans in general, but they were pissed that they won the game because they no longer
that they
have the
won.
1 seed.
Yes,
I feel like,
but of course, the Jets beat, you know, a playoff team, a team that would have home field advantage too in the playoffs. That's a very Jets game to win. So I am mind blown by this past week in NFL football. I thought the Eagles were going to beat the Cardinals, and I would know, you know, on Sunday night that, hey, the Bears just have to win out. But now it's getting to the point, you know, where 4 weeks ago we're like, oh, the Bears have to win out and the Cardinals just have to lose once. We got 4 weeks for one of those things to happen. And it never occurred to me, shit, what happens if the Cardinals also win out and then we don't get into the playoffs because we lost to Detroit? So
yeah,
it'll be interesting. It'll be, I think the Bears win this Sunday. Obviously, it's Jacksonville. If they don't, I might be back on the fire everybody train. We'll see.
Suicidal
Who
Poco
knows,
might
man?
make his return.
You know, I'm at Union Station down there in Chicago, and you know, there's a couple of trains. There's the fire everybody train. There's the 9-7, but don't make the playoffs. Hey, the guys played great lately. Mitch did great. Or it's the 9-7, 8-8 train that's kind of like, how did we end up here?
Yeah.
Because of a loss to the Lions. So I'm gonna make my choice right now. I got my hand. I'm about to hand my ticket onto the train for we're back, and we're Mitch is a Hall of Famer, but
Wow.
we'll see.
Wow.
Hey man, Mitch is playing for his job, and he finally realized it. And I don't know what happened. Probably juicing, but I'm kidding. I'm not making an allegation, but I don't know what's going on. Mitch has looked great. Montgomery's looked great. And Matt Nagy's kind of learning how to coach, I guess. He let Bill Lazor call plays. And since he started letting Lazor call plays, Dave Montgomery's exploded. So
I mean, it's almost like you look at it, you're like, this makes too much sense for this to happen to the Bears. It makes
this is like it's too good right now.
It's too good. Yeah, it's just too good to be true. It's like everything's working right. Nagy's giving up play calling. Like you're just like, wow, this is too much is going right now.
And our last two games are against the 1-13. God, that's real. Wow, 1-13 Jags and the Packers backups most likely.
Hopefully.
That is too good to be true, and the Bears will somehow mess it up.
I mean, I would love for the Packers. I want the Packers to have nothing to play for in Week 17 because that means, honestly, if I'm going to be real, what I think's going to happen is if this is a massive if the Packers win the Sunday night, I feel like Rodgers is going to want to play just to boost his numbers a little bit, to lock in the MVP. I wouldn't be
stat patter.
I wouldn't, honestly. I love the guy. I love Rodgers, but I mean, I have his jersey hanging up right now on my door, just sitting there waiting for Sunday Night Football. But that wouldn't shock me if that happened. And the most Packers, the most poetic justice would be Khalil Mack comes in, hey, how you doing? Here's a broken leg. Have a nice day. Packers out in the division.
Yeah, I don't from Rodgers' perspective, sure, you want to play your competitor. But if you're a true, competitor, team leader, top quarterback in the NFL, you would kind of have to say we have something way more important to be playing for than beating the Bears and my stats.
Yeah. If Rodgers decides to sit, great, I'm so happy. Let's let the love. And what I'm confused about is I don't know if they'd even start Love, considering he hasn't dressed for a game yet, which is surprising.
Matt Boyle time.
Tim Boyle, but yes.
Whatever.
Who cares what his name is?
Not how irrelevant he is.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I mean,
but watch his jerseys fly off the shelves after him and the Packers frickin' practice squad beat the Bears.
Oh, I mean, if in the massive if here, if Jordan Love, first of all, starts the Bears game, second of all, beats the Bears, I would assume his number 10 would be retired. I mean, people would be all on let's trade Rodgers for like 5 first-round picks now, and let's go. It's go.
You're not getting 5 first-round picks.
Hey, Ben, this is my fantasy land, all right? I just said that Jordan Love's going to start a game, all right? I feel like this is all unreasonable. But,
I don't see why he shouldn't start against the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love has not played a single snap, and we drafted him in the first round of the draft, which God only knows why we did that.
Has he dressed?
He has not dressed. He's been inactive for every single game, which it makes me so happy.
Good pick. It's a good pick for sure.
Who was your guys' first-round pick? Oh, wait, Khalil Mack, my bad. Forgot about that.
He was our first-round pick the past few years.
Hey, I mean, it worked out well one year.
Hey, but next year we have a first-round pick. For the first time in a while, we'll probably trade it to get Rodgers.
Right.
Would you take a first-round pick and, what would it take coupled with a first-round pick from the Bears for Aaron Rodgers?
I mean, if realistically, nothing for the next 2 years because his cap hit for the Packers is so massive, no team is going to want to trade for him.
Khalil Mack straight up for Aaron Rodgers.
How old's Khalil Mack?
Younger than Rodgers.
Well, Rodgers is 38, I think. So I would be shocked if a defense or outside line.
Khalil still has 3 years left too. Khalil Mack straight up Aaron Rodgers.
I know, but the fact is the Packers have.
You're a psychopath if you don't take that
The
trade.
Packers have way too many outside linebackers. But he's so good. He's so good.
I don't know how you even think of this.
Because I'm thinking about it, and you got to answer me honestly. Has Khalil Mack had a dominant past 2 seasons?
No.
There we go. But however,
Has Aaron Rodgers?
This year, yes. Last year is
This year.
This year, Rodgers dominant as always. Last year, maybe not. 26 touchdowns.
2018?
2018, we don't need to talk about. I mean, the past 3 years, Rodgers getting hurt in 2017 collarbone, then played the season on a broken that he broke his what is it? It's in your thigh. It's the bone right in your thigh.
Big word. Be your tibia.
His tibia. He broke thanks to Roy Robertson Harris with a dirty shot. I'm kidding. I won't. I mean that's one thing.
That was not.
No,
dirty.
it was not. That's one things I hate about not all Packer fans, but some Packer fans. Anytime Rodgers,
he was trying to hurt him.
No, I mean not even that, but
Yeah.
anytime Rodgers is hurt, they're like, "Oh, this should be a flag." I'm like, guys, I know we all love Rodgers, but we gotta. This is still football.
I like seeing Mitch get hit. That sounds bad.
I gotta clip
like
that.
seeing-
I'm sorry, I have to clip that. That's a clip right there.
When Mitch gets hit, it pumps me the fuck up, dude. When Mitch is running, when he rolls out, he gets 5 yards, takes a shot. I'm like, hell yeah, that's my guy. That's a guy who's going to frickin' war for the Bears.
And then the next play,
Mitch
throws a
probably
pick.
knows it's the only team he'll ever be the starting quarterback on. Unless someone's trying to tank, then he might be great.
Well, I
But
feel like he would start on, unless they're tanking.
he could start on a couple. He could start for the Jets. He could start for the
Jaguars,
Jaguars.
Giants, the Lions.
Definitely for the
Maybe not
Giants.
If this- if they
maybe
move on from
next
Stafford,
year
yeah.
after Matty. Yeah, after Matty. Yeah, that's the thing. The Lions have never had to worry about a quarterback, and they're gonna have to start worrying about that soon.
I mean, I hope
that'll be
Stafford-
interesting to see.
I hope Stafford goes to some team like San Francisco, and just gets to win
Matt
the Super
Stafford
Bowl.
deserves to play in the play. Yeah, he deserves to win something. We are big Matt Stafford guys.
Big
We're
Matt
officially
Stafford.
Matt Stafford guys. We're
on
officially
the
Matt Stafford
train
guys.
right now.
Yeah, we're on the Stafford train. You can't hate him. He was a grinder in college. Georgia SEC boy, gotta love it, and just has gotten nothing out of his career.
I mean,
so.
and the poor
I
guy.
think-
Last year, his wife had brain cancer. This guy can't catch a break to save his life.
No,
I mean, you just feel terrible for him.
and he has to, and you have to live in Detroit,
Oh,
which we can both
Jesus.
agree. You don't want to live in Detroit.
I mean,
Got the Red Wings, the Tigers.
hey,
the Lions.
Big Cat, from Barstool Sports, he had a.
Saved, yeah, big play. He had a great plan, but unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition.
Unfortunately, it did not.
So-
but great idea.
He's stuck there. Will be until he retires or moves on as a kind of a role model backup somewhere. So we'll see what
there's
happens.
There's a lot of reports coming out that this is Stafford's last year in Detroit, which is sad. For
I
Stafford.
could see him becoming a Bear.
Oh, and just torch the team that tormented him for so many years.
Yes.
That actually
Because the Bears haven't picked up Mitch's option. Nick Foles, even though I think he's better than Mitch, and I will maintain, I've said this every episode, I think Nick Foles is a better quarterback than Mitch.
Yeah, he doesn't really fit in the
And-
Bears system though. The Bears system needs a mobile
he doesn't.
quarterback.
He doesn't. But, I loved Nick and I love Mitch. Mitch has been my guy from day one. I've been a day one Mitch guy.
I know.
But I was there. I was able to acknowledge that Nick is a better quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I'm on the Trubisky train, but in every situation, maybe except for where we do need to have a mobile quarterback, on the goal line, I would if we were playing in the Super Bowl, I would want Nick Foles starting.
I mean, the fact that you even got to the Super Bowl is interesting. But no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I mean,
He's a leader, and Mitch,
full super
kind of
playoff experience.
lost the team last year.
And let me throw this out here to you. Nick Foles, a lot of playoff experience, Super Bowl experience.
Probably has a winning record in the playoffs.
Would you want him starting in the playoffs?
Wow. If he's healthy?
Yes, fully healthy. Fully healthy Trubisky versus a fully healthy Foles. Who are you starting?
Like this season, not
Yes.
in like a hypothetical world.
Yes, this season you are headed to New Orleans to play the Saints. Who's your man?
That'd be exciting. Wow. Of course, you got to give me this right as we were about to wrap up. So I got to hold on. I got to think about this.
This is a tough one.
Assuming we make the playoffs this year, yeah. So we have to win our next 2 games.
Yes.
Mitch, because of the fact that he will have just won 4 games in a row, and if we're winning 4 in a row, that means everything's clicking with Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
So I would have to go with Mitch. You have to go with the hot hand. It's like the Eagles with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. You know, they saw what happened when Wentz came back, and it was just like, well, Nick Foles, this is your team, win us a championship.
Yeah, and I mean, when I watch the Bears, like if you look at the Bears on paper throughout their whole season, you're like, damn, their quarterbacks have an expiration date. Like they're good for 4 games. Then like to start the season, Trubisky 4 games, boom, Foles 4 games, boom, Trubisky. Like it goes back and forth. So I if I'm Nagy, I'm probably sticking with Trubisky. But I would say to make sure Foles gets a lot of reps in practice with the ones.
Yeah, you can't reasonably take out a quarterback that's hot.
Mm-hmm. Unless, I mean, in the first half, he's thrown 3 picks, and you're like, okay, let's get Foles in there.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that, but I don't see that happening with Mitch. He's been really disciplined lately, and we're back. We're going to the playoffs. So
I mean,
that wraps up my very long take on the Bears and everything going on.
Yeah, so we'll move on to let's get a little You Betcha going, Ben. Let's hear it.
You Betcha lock of the week, Bears -9. I will leave that for you, actually, because I know that is also probably going to be your lock of the week. Just because of hearing you talk about it earlier, and that's an easy one to steal from you. But I won't. So you give yours. I'm gonna have to think of mine now.
Question: can I buy a point?
No, straight up off the site.
All right, that's fine. I'll stick with. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'll take the Bears -9. Packers look.
I can't believe it's only -9.
I know that's what jumped off. Like I was looking at the lines.
I see it now at -7.5 on Bovada.
On Bovada,
which is bananas.
Let me check. Good friends of the show, Play 23. Let's just because the last time I checked, it was -9, and I'm not sure if they've updated their things. Yeah, Bears still -9, and the
okay.
I mean -9 for +105. I mean, how can a guy pass that up?
So I will tell you that they already have odds up for Bears Packers Week 17. Do you want to guess the point spread?
Now I gotta know. So, what I would just tell me this: are they assuming the Packers win this week?
I don't think so.
Okay, so that means they would have something to play for. So I would say Packers -12.5.
Wow, way off. -5.
Whoa. So maybe they are, or maybe they're not.
Maybe they are, but I don't know. I feel like
Maybe
if the Packers were starting their backups, the Bears would honestly be favorites.
maybe maybe they're assuming the Packers win. They start the starters for the first half, maybe, and that's what they're going
Something
for.
like that. Just get it. Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, that's a good one. Bears -9. Welcome to the train. We're glad to have you here. But I'm gonna actually go with the Titans +3.
I understand that
because I can't believe that the Titans are underdogs against the Packers. I hate to say, I'm sorry to say it.
I mean, right now I understand you, but on Sunday I'm going to be all the way in on the Packers. So, but
no, and I will be too because I need them to win just as much as you do. You honestly, well, you don't even. I need them to win more than you do because you want them to get the 1 seed. I want them to win so my team gets into the playoffs.
Yeah, I want them to win and just nothing to play for next week.
You're playing for a bye, and I'm playing to stay alive.
Quite a dramatic difference right there.
There is a big difference. So I'm all in on the Packers, but the fact that the Titans are the underdogs is kind of surprising, and it's in Tennessee.
No, it's in Green Bay, I believe.
It is in Green. Yeah, it is in Green Bay.
Sunday
You're
Night
right.
Football
Okay,
in
so
Green
that's
Bay.
why. Okay, that's why I'm kind of confused then. How I guess maybe they're taking the weather into account.
Yeah, there's a 60% chance of snow, rather.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Bears get a nice vacation down to Jacksonville. They'll enjoy their time, hopefully, and move on. So let's do. Should we hit a fish fry and a meat raffle grand prize winner for the past week?
Yeah, sure. Actually.
Let's start with a fish fry.
Ooh,
yeah.
fish fry. All right, I had my meat raffle. My fish fry.
Okay, meat raffle.
Meat raffle. University of Missouri basketball on
Yeah.
fire.
Wow.
Outstanding. Last time I checked, they were 10th in the country.
6-0.
They're looking unbeatable right now. It's great for, I actually just the other day enrolled at the University of Missouri.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm all the way on the Tigers. Last time before then I was 95% in. Now I'm 100% in on the Tigers. We're tourney bound. I feel like the only teams that could beat us.
Oh God, that's a dangerous game to play with Missouri.
I don't see Kentucky's terrible. No one can beat us. March Madness bound. National champs. Just give them the trophy already.
Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna store that one for next week when they lose to Southeast Louisiana State. So
yeah,
probably someone like that. Meat raffle grand prize winner David Montgomery.
Ooh, wow. What if I told you 3 weeks ago that your meat raffle winner would be David Montgomery?
3 weeks ago, I wanted his ankle to snap so that Cordero Patterson would be the starting running back.
Yes.
And last week, I think he might have led the entire NFL in rushing.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I'll double check that as we move on here to the fish fry. But David Montgomery checking.
I thought you were saying double something else. Double doinking. Anyways, let's move on to our fish fry.
Okay.
Who would I be if I passed that up?
Fair.
Fish fry. I gotta go with the second half Green Bay Packers. Oh baby. Or
Okay,
actually, you know what?
fair.
I changed. No, never mind. I'm not. I was gonna change to LaFleur, but I can't do him. I love him too much. Yeah. No, you know what? I am changing. Fuck it. Mike Pettin. I hate him. I want him fired. Fire him. Fire. Hashtag, if you look at my Twitter, at Riley J. Trapp on Twitter, there's a plug. You'll see a couple, maybe 10 fire Mike Pettin tweets. Yeah, I need him out. He's terrible. The Panthers didn't score that much, 16. Respectable, but it's just been accumulating, and I hate it, and I hate him. Hire Lovie Smith. Then we're Super Bowl bound. Mike Pettin, get him out. There's my fish fry.
My fish fry, I've been battling back and forth with this because very first episode of this show, I was all in on the University of Illinois men's basketball team because they looked outstanding. And I was going to roast them because they have looked horrible.
Terrible.
Ever since that bragging rights game against Missouri.
Yes.
But my fish fry is actually going to be the Rams because how do you lose to the Jets?
Yeah. That's
a team trying to lose without their number 3 overall pick, Quinnen Williams, and he was gone over half the game. Mm-hmm. And you lose? Mind-blowing that they somehow managed to lose that game. So, fish fries, the Rams, how do you lose that game and potentially screw up your opportunity to get home field advantage?
Yeah. Just a quick little recap. You betches. You and I are both 2-1. So, you had, I believe last time you had Mitch over, I'm looking at, here we go. You had Mitch over 247.5 passing. He went for 202. Respectable. I had Packers 7.5. That barely hit. That hit by a half a point.
Yeah.
So and you had Clemson. I remember we were watching that game, and good God, did they ever beat the crap out of Notre Dame. So we're both 2-1. If I had to guess, I will be moving on to 3-1. You will be moving on to 2-2. Packers by 1 million.
I would be okay with that.
Yes. Are you willing to change your you betcha to Packers -3?
Oh man.
Tough one. This might be record breaking. That the fact that I take the Bears and you take the Packers.
Could I go Packers win straight up? instead?
Let me check
Packers money line?
because I don't.
Is that well within is it within our requirement?
I'm looking at it. Here we go.
Because if that was an option, I would prefer. I think that reason I say Tennessee +3 because I could see the Packers winning this game like 24-23.
Oh wow, yeah. The Packers are money line's only -175.
So I'll say Packers money line. I will change
This
it.
is ridiculous. The fact that you're going with the Packers and I'm going with the Bears, record breaking. I can't believe we're doing this. This is outstanding.
Yep.
I mean,
and with
I
that,
couldn't have scripted a better way to end the show.
yeah, I can't think of a better way to wrap it up. So with that, this has been the 4th episode. We will probably be glued to the TV on Saturday and Sunday. Are there Saturday games this week?
There's a Christmas game tomorrow. We got the
Christmas
Vikings.
game, Vikings, right?
Yeah, and then Saturday we have the Buccaneers, Lions. You will be heavily interested in Niners, Cardinals, and Dolphins, Raiders.
Yeah, so we'll be locked in all weekend, enjoying some family time. Good to be back home. I know you're enjoying your time down in sunny Florida. It's about 10 degrees here in Chicago right now.
Make sure
So
I had to get out of there.
yeah, so with that, we'll wrap up this 4th episode and wish everyone listening a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. We respect everyone here at Broad Shield.
Yep.
That's true. All right, thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great rest of your Thursday.